screen lectures. And before we get started, I just want to remind everyone to make sure you mark your calendar for June the 24th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to do another relational live screen lecture. And the focus of that lecture is I'm going to give some insight on many things I continue to do to grow my YouTube channel. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's topic, which is consistency. You know, consistency is so important, to be honest with you, in all areas of your life. I don't care what goal you're working on or what you're trying to do to make positive changes in your life, whether it's saving money or getting out of debt or eating right, keeping up with all your doctor's appointments, exercising, writing a book, starting a business. Key thing is, when you're going after any kind of goal, I don't care what that goal is, you got to come up with a game plan, first of all, on paper. And then you got to come up with some action steps, specific objectives, measurable objectives on what you're going to do to achieve that goal. And if that goal is, for example, improve health, you got to come up with a game plan. You got to be consistent. Health and wellness is so important. Health is wealth. And when I say health and wellness, that includes a lot of things in terms of changing your mindset, eating right, keeping up with all your doctor's appointments, some type of workout routine. Do what works for you. Everybody's body is different. And then you got to be consistent with it. You can't just start and stop. You know, the reason why a lot of people fail at achieving any kind of goal is they do not maintain consistency. And being internally driven is directly linked to consistency. Because when you're going after a goal, first of all, you got to do it for yourself. You can't do it because everybody else is doing it, or your co-workers on the job is doing it, or family members, or people in the community, church, school, whatever. No, whatever goal that you're working on, you got to be internally driven, and you got to do it for yourself. You know, especially when it comes down to your health and wellness. You know, one of the things I do, and I've been a consistent person all my life. You know, when I set out to achieve the goal, I do not stop people until that goal has been achieved. And you better believe I'm going to have some strategic steps written down on paper, a strategic plan, a business plan, a game plan on paper. And I'm going to literally have down all of the steps that I need to take to achieve that goal. And, you know, one of the things that helped me with my health and wellness goals, and I've been this way all my life, you know, no matter what, people, I'm going to make sure, first of all, I'm going to work out a minimum of 4 days a week, no matter what. You know, rather it's incorporate my free weights, my walking, my exercise. I'm getting at it. I'm getting that in because I understand the importance of health and wellness. And a lot of times when I'm doing these YouTube lectures, I kill two birds in one stone. I'm out here in this natural environment. You know, the area I live in, I can walk as far as I want to. And understand, when you're in this natural environment, in this real world, outside walking, you ain't just walking on no flat surface. You're walking incline, decline. You're working your arms, your legs, your cardiovascular. You're getting it all in, all at one time. And then once I do all this, I go into my free weight. So I'm working out a minimum of 4 days a week. I don't care how cold it is. I don't care what the weather is. I'm getting my workout in, and I incorporate that into my day, depending on my schedule. You know, I'm either going to do it in the morning time, or I'm always have a set time. I may change that set time, but I'm always going to have a set time, meaning the time of the day, to get my workout in. But no matter what, I'm getting a minimum of 4 days a week, sometimes more, in terms of my physical fitness. Real talk, people. And when you're maintaining your health, you know, that takes ongoing consistency. You got to be internally driven. You got to do it for yourself. You know, your lab work will thank you. You're decreasing your doctor bills. I'm on 0 medication. My lab work is perfect in all areas. And that has a direct impact on my consistency. that has a direct impact on me being internally driven, people. This is real talk. And I'm telling you, consistency plays a role. I don't care if you're trying to go back to school and get that degree that you didn't finish. You know, I don't care if it's writing that book, completing that manuscript, and submitting it to a publishing company, and have that manuscript accepted by a publishing company to get to publish that book. It takes consistency, first of all, to write the manuscript. Your manuscript ain't gonna magically write itself. The publishing company can't write your manuscript for you. You got to have some type of consistency and a game plan to write your book, your manuscript. You know, my book hit all major bookstores well over 3 years ago, Await Financial Freedom. And I can remember back in the day when I developed a game plan every Saturday for 2 hours where I'm going to sit my behind down and I'm going to write my manuscript to my book. And it took me 1.5 years to write that manuscript. I had to do that. The publishing company can't write your manuscript. No, and once I completed that manuscript, I submitted my manuscript to two world-renowned publishing companies, and they ain't gonna just accept your manuscript. Two things gonna happen. They're gonna accept or deny that manuscript. My manuscript was accepted by two world-renowned publishing companies, and the rest is history. But my point is, I had to have consistency every Saturday from 12 noon to 2 o'clock, every Saturday for 1.5 years to sit my behind down and write my manuscript to my book. If I would not have had consistency, the manuscript still would be in the developmental phase, people. It's real talk. So I tell folks, you know, I don't care what you're working on. If you ain't got consistency, then you ain't gonna complete the goal, bottom line. If you ain't internally driven, you ain't gonna complete the goal, bottom line. Because can't nobody give you consistency. Only you know your schedule. You only know what's going on in your everyday life, within your households, and the functions and duties of your household or your job, etc. So you got to come up with a schedule, meaning consistency that's going to work for you, not your neighbor, not your coworker, not your mother, father, sister, brother. No, you got to come up with a game plan, the consistency in a schedule that's going to fit your lifestyle, real talk. That is the only way it's going to work. And I'm telling you, consistency is the key. It's the key ingredient into goal achievement in every area of your life. Even, you know, traveling abroad. It's consistency behind the scene. You got to be consistent in terms of working with your travel agent. You got to be consistent in budgeting your money. You got to be consistency in making sure you got certain immunizations you have to get based on where in this world you're going to travel. Your doctor let you know that. So there's consistency that ties into life, people. Real talk. So share this information. And again, do not forget to mark your calendar for June the 24th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Either way it go, I'm going to be ready to get down to business. Simplify, Simple Fidelis, and I'm going to leave any care of your own contents. Have a great day.